All right, it's No One Mad at Beanie Bro Sports back on our Thursday night live stream. And it's August 12th, and we got a lot of postseason baseball coming up in a couple months, and the races are tight. We got races tight in the NL, but specifically the American League. Matt, let's talk about the American League wild card, which is already looking like it's going to be a wild 2 months with lots of teams in it.
Oh yeah, it's pretty insane. I mean, it's hard to imagine. I mean, only a month ago, the Boston Red Sox, or like about a month ago, maybe 5 weeks ago, they were actually 4 games up on the Tampa Bay Rays in the AL East, but they've lost, I think, 10 of 13. And I mean, a lot of teams like they did make a good move at the deadline acquiring Kyle Schwarber, but them not acquiring a starting pitcher or maybe a bullpen arm, a significant one, anyways. It's looking like it's hurting them because they've just been brutal ever since, and it's because of that starting rotation and bullpen. And even looking at some of the guys that they've had, they were kind of having like career years long. They were relying on a bunch of guys that haven't been as good in the past, or maybe they're past their prime, or just rookies coming out of nowhere. So it didn't really seem like it was sustainable, but I mean, it was working early on, but now it's kind of fallen on their face. I mean, you look at like Matt Barnes, he has like three of his last four outings. He's gotten lost and he's blown a couple saves, I mean, Garrett Whitlock's been okay, but I mean, like, who's I forget the guy's name or whatever, but he was the guy they got from the Yankees, but he was really good to start off this year, but he's been brutal ever since. And then the starting pitching's just been awful. I mean, Nathan Eovaldi did have a good outing yesterday, but I mean, the two previous outings, he was just brutal. I think he allowed like 13 earned runs in his last two outings before yesterday. But I mean, he's supposed to be their ace too, and his ERA is over 4 now. So it's just I mean, and they just, I know they had like they tried to basically patch up their starting rotation, which was clearly their weakness last year, as they finished dead last in the AL East and with a bunch of random guys. And I mean, Nick Pivetta was having a career year to start this year, but I mean, he was pretty bad. I mean, they were trying to patch up the rotation by signing guys like Garrett Richards, who now got relegated to the bullpen because he's been so bad. So I think it's kind of just them snapping back to reality. And teams like the Yankees and the Blue Jays, who a lot of people pegged as being, better teams on paper, are, it's starting to balance out here. I mean, they still have a 1.5 game lead and two game lead over the Yankees and Blue Jays respectively, but it's not looking good for the Red Sox. I mean, we'll see it coming down the stretch, but
No, that lead's
I
shrinking,
don't think they'll
Matt.
make it.
And you talk about last week, even Oakland was falling back of Boston. Now Oakland's won 7 straight. Now they have that top wild card spot. Boston's falling off. You got the Yankees and Blue Jays close. Even the Mariners are within 4.5 games. Like, this is going to be a tight race these next few weeks. And there's lots of teams that have a shot at it.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty wild finish down the stretch, to say the least. I mean, the Yankees and Blue Jays, surging at the time the Red Sox are slumping has made it much more interesting. And I mean, like, I was one that I kind of thought the Athletics weren't as good as what their record said, but I mean, it's won 7 in a row, and I mean, granted, they're still not doing this against really good teams. I mean, yeah, I guess they murdered Cleveland here in their last series, but like, I don't know. I still need to see them do it against a good team, and they could still make the playoffs. But if they want to make a deep playoff run, they're going to actually have to take some games against quality opponents as opposed to just beating up on last place teams. So
I definitely like they played the Rangers and Indians this past week. So yeah, they won 7 in a row. They did score 17 runs today against the Indians. Just ridiculous. Like, Cleveland,
yeah,
good job. But yeah, definitely. And they have another series against the Rangers coming up, so even more chance for the Athletics to gain some more ground in that wild card. But then they got a tough schedule coming up: White Sox, then the Giants, and then even the Mariners, followed by the Yankees. So they got 4 tough series coming up, and I don't think it's going to continue.
yeah. Again, we haven't seen them do it against better teams this year. So maybe that's when the Yankees and Blue Jays make up ground on them. I mean, on the A's, or I don't know. It's going to be a crazy finish because it's really exciting. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But even just this past week, the Jays and Yankees have gained lots of games on Boston.
Oh yeah.
Only the last 10 games, Boston won 3. Yankees have won 7, and Toronto's won 8.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy to think out of Oakland, Boston, the Blue Jays, and the Yankees. 2 of them aren't going to make the playoffs, so it's just going to be crazy.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely ridiculous. Teams
so yeah,
cannot
we're going to see.
buy a spot in the postseason. And then you look at the National League, you got a team with 60 wins in first place in the NL East. Or
Yeah,
sorry, the NL least.
the NL
Because
East.
they
Yeah,
have been absolutely awful. And the American League has just been a juggernaut of teams this year.
yeah. It really has been. I mean, it's just I don't even know. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the most interesting wild card for sure. The National League, I don't even think it's going to be a race in the wild card. We got 3 teams in the NL West looking like they're all making the playoffs. So we'll see.
Yeah,
But I mean, even the Reds, second in the NL Central, are 4 games back of the wild card right now. Mets, second in the East, are 6 games back of the wild card. So really, I mean, for the Mets, the only shots to win the division. Even the Reds, 4 back in the wild card. I don't see them making up that ground.
no, I don't think so either. They're too far back in their own division because now Milwaukee's 8 games ahead of them. So
Yeah.
that's probably over now.
It says a lot about your division though when you're half game back of the division lead and you're 6 games back of the wild card.
Yeah.
Or the Braves 1 game back of the division lead, 6.5 back of the wild card.
Yeah, that's the only way. Those like either the Mets, Braves, and Phillies. The only way they're making the playoffs is winning their division.
Yep.
That's how it works. Yeah,
It's still like hilarious to me because I really thought this was the best division in sports heading into the year.
yeah. I mean, it's just a lot of, I guess, unforeseen. So I mean, yeah, the Mets have been dealing with a lot of injuries. The Braves have had a lot of injuries as well too. I mean, the Phillies. I don't know. I mean, they probably were the team that suffered through the least injuries out of the those 3 teams at least. So, and then the Nationals kind of just, I don't know. They had some injuries, I guess, but
Yeah, but I mean, look at the AL East.
point.
Like the Blue Jays have had lots of injuries. Their bullpen's been like
Oh,
ripped
it's been
apart.
brutal.
The
It's just
Yankees have had so many offensive problems this year and some injuries themselves. And there's still 4 teams in the AL East that are better than anyone in the NL East.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, the NL East has had a lot of misfortune, but so has everyone. And we look at the
Oh
AL
yeah.
East. Aside from the Orioles, obviously,
They
they
just
have
suck.
4 teams that could be in the playoffs if they were in another division.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. It really is.
Yeah,
Oh man.
just ridiculous. When we talk about Tampa, how they're on a roll. They've won 7 of their last 10, and they just, no matter what, Tampa, you just can't kick them down.
Yeah, I don't even know how they do it. It's just timely hitting, and well, the bullpen's the big reason why. I think they have
Yeah,
their bullpen ERA since like June 25th or something is like it's like 1.75, which is just absolutely ridiculous.
yeah. Tampa has had a lot of good bullpen arms. They just know how to develop arms.
They do.
And it's not even that they draft a million arms. They know who's ready, when they're ready, and what they do best. And they're able to maximize on each pitcher in that rotation and bullpen.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at their bullpen, like it's not like they're just full of big name guys. They're not. They're just a bunch of no name guys who just work well together and they just get the job done.
Yeah, they do. And it's also crazy to think that their top 3 stars from last year, Charlie Morton, Tyler Glasnow, and Blake Snell, they're not on the roster right now. Well, they're not pitching in the starting rotation.
Yeah.
Yet they're still just rolling along. And it's because they just, I don't know, they just know how, I don't know, management just knows how to develop pitchers and, piece together pitchers in games and find a way to win. And it's pretty incredible.
It's absolutely incredible. Like
Yeah,
Tampa Bay is the new Moneyball for sure.
yeah. Well, they're like Moneyball and steroids because they actually, won some playoff series too, unlike those Oakland A's teams.
Yeah,
So they've been doing it much more effectively too, to say the least.
for sure. But Tampa, I mean, you can't count them out anymore.
No, you can't.
Like on paper, they might not have a great team, but they do have a great team, and they know what they're doing in Tampa Bay.
Oh, absolutely.
Every time they make a trade, I'm just like shaking my head, like, what are you doing? But every time it pays off.
Yeah, and well, so far they could have, stolen. Got away with highway robbery by trading Blake Snell to the Padres because early returns don't look too good for the Padres.
No,
Just don't make a trade with Tampa. That's all. That's
never.
every story.
You always think you're fleecing Tampa, and you never are. They're always fleecing you, and teams don't learn.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean,
70 wins already. It's August 12th, and the Tampa Bay Rays have 70 wins.
yeah. Well, so do the Brewers and the Giants. I mean,
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Aiden had the Rays ranked 19th
yeah,
at
that's
the beginning of the
what the
year.
heck he was doing.
I never know what Aiden's doing.
I mean, I'll admit I wasn't high on them because I thought them losing their top two stars before Charlie Morton and Blake Snell would have been a big hit for them, and I didn't know what was going to happen with Tyler Glass now or whatever, like coming in the year. But
Yeah,
I don't know why. I'll never bet against the Rays again. They just know how to, get
they
it.
do. They know how to get it done, and they know how to get to the postseason.
Yeah, they do.
And they have a 5-game lead on the most competitive division in baseball. Most competitive meaning like the best division in baseball.
Yeah,
You're talking about 4 teams that can make the playoffs. Obviously, like the NL East is closer, but the NL East is garbage. The NL West is 3 really good teams, but the AL East has 4 very good teams that could all make the postseason. And if they get going, could be a World Series favorite. Either one of those 4 teams.
Yeah, they could be. I mean, the White Sox and the Astros definitely have something to say. But I mean, I don't know. I don't even want. But yeah, the White Sox. I mean, they got their Eloy Jimenez back, who's looked incredible. I mean, he had a 3-run home run in the Field of Dreams game today. He hit it into the corn, and I mean I think it's like his 6th home run since coming back. I think he has like 18 RBIs in like the 15 games he's been back. I mean, he's just on a tear, this guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that he's back. It's great for the game of baseball, and I'm loving this Field of Dreams game.
Oh yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's still going on right now, but I think there's been 5 home runs in the first 6 innings. Like I was watching some of it, and the one thing I was like, I hope there's a home run. And I mean, I guess you're talking about the White Sox and Yankees, there's going to be a home run.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm glad there was a couple to say the least. So
yeah, definitely. But I mean, we're talking 7 teams in the AL that could win the World Series, and 4 of them are in the AL East.
Yeah, honestly.
Because anybody past those 7 teams, like, they're not winning anything. Because Seattle's probably the next best team, and no offense to Seattle.
I think Seattle's too far out.
Seattle's too far out, and they're not ready to win.
No, maybe in 5 years, or not 5 years, like a couple of years.
I mean, maybe even next year. Seattle makes the right moves. Next year they could be competitive. Probably the window is in 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, they got to worry about just making the playoffs first. They still have the longest drought in, the major professional sports in North America now.
Exactly. But, I mean, 4 of the 7 teams all in one division. And don't count out the Blue Jays. Blue Jays are playing at home now, and they've been great as of late.
Oh, yeah, they have been. They really have been. I mean, I still don't like their bullpen for a run. I mean, they definitely, Breos, who's looked pretty good so far with the Jays, They got 4 pretty good starters now, which is basically what you have going in the playoffs. You'd have 4 starters. It's just the bullpen's still kind of a question. I mean, who knows what Nate Pearson is able to do if he's able to come back, and Julian Merriweather. I mean, you're talking about 2 guys that can reach triple digits with their fastballs out of the bullpen. But, yeah, we're going to have to see.
Yeah, but you know what? Simber's been great.
Oh, he's been really good.
A steal for the Blue Jays getting.
Oh yeah, we just traded Joe Panic, and I mean, I don't even know the minor league where he gave up.
And they took Corey Dickerson's contract. Like that was essentially the trade.
Yeah, Jays have
pretty
enough.
Much bought.
Yeah,
they bought him, and now he's arguably the best reliever in the pen.
Yeah, he is. Unconventional nowadays. I mean, he throws like 88, 89 sidearm, but he's just effective. He just gets outs and throws strikes. That's what I like.
Yeah. But you know what? With this offense, the Jays offense with George Springer back, you upgraded the rotation. You're going to get more innings out of your starting pitching. You got 4 good starters. Maybe the bullpen doesn't matter as much as it did a month ago.
Yeah, I mean that is another thing. You have more, another Hebreos, another starter that's going to eat innings, and that means the bullpen is going to be relying on. I mean, that's one thing that might have been a reason why the bullpen sucked so much. It was being, over they were over relying on the bullpen, and they were getting tired and arms are getting overstretched. So that's another thing to consider. That having another starter going 6 or 7 innings as opposed to 4 or 5 is, helps save the bullpen a bit.
Yeah, definitely. But hey, Blue Jays are 2 games back of the wild card. There's still only 7 back in the division.
Yeah,
They're going to the postseason, Matt. They're doing it.
yeah, I definitely probably counting out a division here, but yeah, they're definitely well within the what do you call it, the wild card race. I mean, especially because they have 4 games on hand on for the Boston Red Sox. I mean, they're 2 games back because they have 4 games on hand. So we'll see.
Yeah, but I mean, why not? The Blue Jays are just crushing the ball. They still have the second best run differential in the American League.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And why not?
Yeah, why not? Indeed.
But yeah, the Rays, like we're talking about how good they've been doing. You know who their next 2 series are against?
Who?
They play the Twins and the Orioles.
Oh my
The
god.
next 7 games are against the Twins and the Orioles.
Oh my gosh, you got.
And then after playing the White Sox, they play the Phillies and the Orioles again.
Oh my gosh.
And then they play the Red Sox, and then they play the Twins again.
Oh, that's
This
brutal.
great schedule for Tampa. I mean, they play the Marlins again.
Ah,
They're going to win the division.
yeah, they probably will.
And if you said that a month ago, but they've come a long way. They just keep winning games.
Yeah, they just keep on winning, and that's what the Rays do.
Yes, they do. That's Tampa Bay baseball right there. Just do the little things and you win games.
Yeah, honestly.
All right, but now that AL West is getting close. 1.5 games back. Oakland is of Houston right now.
Yeah, it's
Obviously,
gotten close because the A's
Oakland's
hot
schedule's
streak.
been weak, but Houston's only got a 1.5 game lead on the division now.
Yeah, I mean I think a big thing is, I mean, the starting pitching has been okay. I mean, maybe not as good as it has been as of late, but they still got a good solid starting pitchers. I mean, they have injuries to, I believe, Yuli Gurriel and Alex Bregman still, and I mean they did trade some of their depth pieces and Miles Straw and Abraham Toro. So they're relying on, the backup bench guys now since they traded those guys to replace their spots. So their offense isn't as potent right now, even though they still have like 4 or 5 really good hitters in that lineup. So it might be starting to show its effects somewhat. So
Yeah, but they've been blessed with a great schedule right now. Like they just played lost 3 or 4 to the Twins, but still Twins are awful. They just played the
yeah,
Rockies, and now they're going to a series with the Angels. Then they play the Royals. Then they play the Mariners, and then they play the Royals again, and then they play the Rangers, and then the Mariners again. Like they play no exceptional teams over the next few weeks.
that's okay. Well,
So
interesting to see if the Astros can take advantage of that. I mean, yeah, the A's also. I mean, their next series against the Rangers. I don't know what the rest of their schedule looks like, but
yes, but I would love a close race between the Astros and Athletics. They play the last 3 games of the season. They play each other, and the third last series of the season they play each other.
ooh,
So we're talking about some really good rivalries in the AL West, and it might come right down to that last day. You never know.
oh, baby, yeah.
I love those when the postseason race comes down to the last day and they're playing each other. It rarely happens, but we got great baseball when that happens.
We do have some good baseball here, that's for sure. I'm excited.
Yeah, and this year they seem to do that a lot. I think the Mets end the season with the Braves. I mean, that could be a race in the NL East. Who knows? But
Yeah, I mean, the Braves are definitely not out of it. I mean, good for them for fighting this year with all the injuries and stuff, especially with Acuna, another one. I mean, they already lost. What I mean, is Darno back yet, or is he coming back yet?
that's a good question. I was just thinking that is Travis Darno back yet because I thought he was supposed to be back Tuesday. Yes, he returned. So he's back, which is
That's
a
good.
huge boost for Atlanta.
Yeah, talking about one of the best offensive catchers in the game.
Yeah, and I don't even know how many catchers they've been through since he's been injured. Maybe like six no-name
Yeah,
catchers.
Yeah, I only know the one because the one's Wilson Contreras' brother or something like that. That's the only one
Yes,
I know.
yes,
The
but
rest, just no name.
I
I
think
think
like
Jeff Mathis at one
yeah, I
point
was
they
gonna
used.
say that they did use Jeff Mathis, and I feel like they've used a few other like former veterans, like not even veterans now, just guys that get off the block.
Yeah, holy crud.
Yeah, some guy named Kavon Smith was their catcher.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I might have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
fair enough. But
Travis
yeah,
Renault
Travis.
for Atlanta, that's a huge addition to the
It
team.
is,
They've been
yeah, and
missing him
he's
for
a
a
pretty
long
good
time.
defensive catcher as well, too.
Yeah, and if he can stay healthy, he's one of the best offensive catchers in the game.
Yep, for sure. It'll help that team that lost Acuna for the rest of the year. I mean, he's not Acuna, but he definitely
No, he's not Acuna, but he is very
he's an
good at
upgrade.
hitting with runners in scoring position. He's a huge upgrade at catcher. And with Freddie Freeman and Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley's had a good year. They could go off.
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
I would still take Atlanta to win the division over the Phillies.
Really? Why do you say that?
The Phillies just don't have the defense for me.
Yeah.
Their defense is awful. Both bullpens have been bad.
Yeah, both of them have been pretty.
But Atlanta's trending upwards. They have a better run differential. The Phillies honestly have been quite lucky.
They have been.
The Phillies have been given the division, essentially. That's the only reason they're at first.
Yes, they have been. They've played some crap teams at opportune times.
Yeah, and I mean they have a great offense. You can't not agree with that. They have an amazing offense. They have good starting pitching, but I still don't think it's enough. I take Atlanta over the Phillies.
Okay.
But I mean, we're talking 3 teams within one game, and what's your prediction? How many wins does it take to win this division?
All right. So how many games left? How many games left? I mean, the Mets have 114. So they're like 58 games left or something.
Yeah.
Right. So 30. I think it'll take the Mets have 59 games. If they win, they'll just have to win 31 of their last 58 games. So 31 and 27, that just takes them to 90 wins. So I say the winner wins like 92 or 93 games, something like that. Still acceptable, but
who knows? Maybe we'll have a division winner with 89 wins.
Yeah, that would be brutal, but
well, it's already pretty brutal.
Yeah, I still think you'll have to win 90 games to win the division at least.
Yeah. But who knows?
But the NL West, on the other hand, the Giants are probably on pace for 100 wins right now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean, they're 73 and 41. I bet you they're on pace for more than 100 wins.
Yeah, because they have 58 games left. They just have to go like 27 and that's
right now they have a 640 winning percentage.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
Pretty high.
Yeah, they just have to go 27 and 21. I mean, sorry, in their last 48 games, which is definitely doable. So
they're on pace to win 104 games.
Yeah, they're probably going to 100 games.
Ridiculous. And I mean, there could be 2 teams in the division with 100 wins if the Dodgers pop off.
Yeah, the Dodgers definitely have that capability of just going on a tear at the end.
Definitely. And they have 69 wins. They're 4.5 games back. That's another good race, the NL West.
Yeah, it is, but it's pretty funny because I think what's happened so far is every time I think I was listening to the broadcast of the Dodgers, Phillies game. Apparently the last time when the Dodgers made up ground, meaning like a game a day where the Dodgers won and the Giants lost, was like July 25th. So it's like every time the Dodgers win a game, the Giants also win a game, it seems like.
Wow.
Every time the Dodgers, every time the Giants lose a game, the Dodgers seem to lose a game. So it's just ridiculous that they keep getting the same results on every single day. So the Dodgers can't gain any games on the Giants. It's just crazy. The consistency. I mean, every time I look at the standings in the last 10, it always seems like the Giants are like 7-3, 8-2. I mean, they're 8-2 in the last 10 right now. It's just they're so consistent. I mean, yeah, they're playing the Rockies, but and Giants.
You got to feel for the San Diego Padres. I mean, they put so much into this season, so much.
Yeah, they
And even
did.
like, look at their last 10. They've won 6 of their last 10. Not bad, pretty good. They've lost 2 games in the division in that time. They're
Yeah.
now 8 games back because they just can't. Like, the Giants and the Dodgers are just both so good.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the Padres are supposed to compete with that.
Yeah. And you're talking about a team, that did clearly go for it. And they had such high expectations, potentially World Series expectations. And now they could be out in a wild card game against the Dodgers right now. Like, that would be insane.
Yeah, they could play one game and be done.
Yeah. That's
With
why you
all
want
the
to win the division.
prospects and all the money they've spent within this last year, that will be an absolute awful end for the San Diego
Yeah. It
Padres.
really will be.
But I mean, you never know. Wild card game, Padres could upset the Dodgers.
Yep. It's just one game.
Yeah, but I would take any of the Dodgers pitchers over one of the Padres.
Yeah.
Maybe
Like
not
who the
any, but
Padres.
I would take their
Joe
top 3.
Musgrove or like you Darvish, is that what it would be or something like that?
Yeah, it'd be Musgrove or Darvish. But I mean, the Dodgers, Bueller, even
Scherzer,
Scherzer, I would trust in a wild card game.
Yeah, he's
And
kind of a workhorse.
Kershaw.
He's got experience.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's
been great.
interesting
I mean,
to say the least.
Not sure if you saw the Cubs designated Jake Arrieta today for assignment. That upset me.
Yeah, Cubs aren't doing anything this year. I mean, like I don't know why they have to get rid of him. I mean, he literally was one of the big guys that actually ended that curse. You know, he was like their best starting pitcher on those teams.
Yeah, I mean, him and John Lester were the pitching. And Jake Arrieta, without him, without that diamond in the rough that they got from the Orioles, they don't win the World Series.
No, they don't.
They don't. And now you're talking like a few years down the road, the Cubs aren't even winning. They've sold all of their stars. And now they're going to designate him for assignment with like 5 weeks left to go in the season. Or sorry, like 6, 7 weeks left to go in the season.
It's awful. Yeah, it's awful to see.
It's awful. All to like what? Like, what does that do for your team and your organization? What does that say about the Cubs organization?
I don't know. I mean,
I get it if they're in a postseason hunt, and he has been struggling. But you're talking about a veteran guy who bled for this franchise, brought them to the World Series, and you just throw them out like garbage when you're 18 and a half games back in the division.
yeah, I mean,
ridiculous.
I don't know. They definitely did them dirty.
Yeah. And Jake Arrieta should be pissed. I would be pissed.
Yeah, I would be as well. I mean, at least he won a World Series with them, but not happy.
Like that's how his career with the Cubs ends.
Yeah, that does.
Everything he's done for the franchise, and that's how it ends. I don't like it. I don't. The Cubs, you're garbage. Absolute garbage organization. Theo Epstein is supposed to leave you.
I hope they don't win another World Series for over 100 years.
It's going to be 100 years. Like, Theo Epstein is gone, you know it's bad.
Yeah.
And
gosh.
They don't even have like amazing. I mean, they just traded everyone they have, so they don't really have anything.
No, I looked at their lineup. I mean, today that was playing the Brewers, I didn't recognize any names.
Yeah.
One.
The only guy I can even like think of that they still have is Nico Horner.
Sorry?
The only guy I can think of that they still have in their roster is Nico Horner.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they have Wilson Contreras too.
Yeah, true. They have Wilson Contreras.
That's the only guy that's like from that infield, like because they had a really stellar infield, a bunch of young players. I mean, they had Addison Russell, which I mean, he had a pretty bad career with all that assault stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
ruined his career. But they're like infield was like all these guys under 25 on those teams in 2015, 2016. You had Chris Bryant at third, Addison Russell at short, Javier Baez at second, Anthony Rizzo at first, and then you had Wilson Contreras as the catcher. It was like that was insane. All those guys were under 25. And it was like I thought that team was going to win multiple World Series, never mind just one.
Yeah.
So, and now they're all gone except Wilson Contreras.
It's ridiculous. Like the Cubs deserve to lose, and they deserve to go another 100 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do. Like
great core, and you messed it up to win another one.
Yeah, and it's not even about like not winning it again with that core. It's about just giving up.
Yeah. it sets precedent. Like, why would a free agent want to sign there if you're just going to give up on your players like that?
Yeah. And speaking of Wilson Contreras, he hit the injured list today, so
Oh,
that's why you didn't recognize anyone on that team.
There you go. There you go. That makes sense.
Yep. Just
Right.
awful.
Well, seeing as your team's in the National League, I want to know, what team do you think maybe it is going to be like the NL in the NL, win the NL pennant here? Who's your favorite here? Who do you like?
Okay, I got two. The Dodgers, obviously, just because they're the favorite. They just added Trey Turner and Max Scherzer. They easily have the best roster on paper.
Yeah.
They have 3 great starting pitchers for the postseason. I think they should easily be able to get back to the World Series.
Yeah.
But then again, right now they're lined up to play in a wild card game.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That wild card game, 50-50.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who I would like to see and who I think has the pieces to make the World Series, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh yeah, now we're talking. That's what I want to say. I was hoping to say.
Yes, because they have the best 1-2-3 punch.
Oh yeah, all those guys could be aces on basically any other team except the Mets, with Jacob deGrom. Like, they're insane.
Yeah. Dodgers have a great 1-2-3 as well, but I think I would take the Brewers. The only
because they're all really young too. They're like all 25.
Yeah. The only issue for me with Milwaukee is their offense.
Yeah.
And that's why I like them, though, because if their offense pops off at the right time, they can just sweep through the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, they did score 17 against the Cubs. I mean, the Cubs suck, and they did murder them against yesterday too. So,
but the Milwaukee Brewers have an excellent bullpen.
Yeah.
They have great starting pitching.
Oh, that 3-headed monster in a playoff series is scary.
Yeah, and I mean, what if they only go with 3 pitchers in the postseason? Can they do that?
Yeah.
Like, then you're talking about moving 2 starters to the to the bullpen. But I mean, they're going to go with 4. But if there's key games, they'll definitely start any of those 3 guys on short rest.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, those 2 teams are who I think will make the World Series. I would love the Brewers to make the World Series. I think that any team out of the NL East just has too many problems.
Yeah.
I think if the Phillies make the playoffs, their defense and bullpen, there's no way they win a series. The Braves,
I guess
their bullpen's awful too.
I mean, the good thing about this setup right now is that, I mean, it's going to be an NL West team in the NLCS, but it's going to be either one of the AL Central teams or one of the NL East teams. So one of those teams is going to be in the NLCS, right?
Yeah.
So it could be the Brewers, Phillies, or Mets or something like that in the NLCS. So they'll have a chance to get to the World Series. That's the good thing, at least.
That's true. I think the Mets have the best chance of beating the Brewers out of any of the 3 teams in the NL East. I still don't think they have it. I think a lot of things have to go the Mets' way these next few weeks. They have to get DeGrom back in September. Noah Syndergaard is going to have to return and pitch out of the bullpen. Their offense, Conforto is going to have to figure things out.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about so many question marks for the Mets. The Phillies bullpen and defense are just awful. The Braves bullpen has been awful, and their offense has been inconsistent. The Brewers have won 70 games. I mean, they have to be the favorite in that first series.
I guess you're talking, the Brewers versus any given NL East team. So,
yeah. But for the Brewers, definitely their best matchup is the Braves or the Phillies because they need to score at least 1 run. And the Mets have the best pitching.
Yeah, out of those 3 teams, they definitely do.
Yeah, I still think Milwaukee can easily, they're the favorites against any team in the NL East, but the Mets will give them the biggest problem.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that, 100%. Oh, yeah. All right. Oh man. I mean, do you think with the whole Giants here, do you think they could, I mean, I don't know. I'm still surprised that they're this good. I mean, obviously they're clearly legit, but you still think they are you did say the Dodgers, but you still think the Giants could beat the Dodgers in a series in the playoffs?
I do. I think, honestly, like, I still am surprised that the Giants are in first place. I should
Yeah, I
not
am.
be surprised. They've done it all year, but I don't think I can ever list them as a favorite.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's like so bad because they just keep winning games, but on paper, I don't think they have the best team in the NL East.
No.
The Dodgers do. I think if the Padres beat the Dodgers, I think that's the best case scenario for the Giants because they have a much better matchup against San Diego. But I still don't see anybody beating the Dodgers in the playoffs. I don't. They're just so good. I think the best chance for the Dodgers to be knocked off is in that wild card game.
Yeah, where everything can happen. But in a longer series, typically the better team's going to win. I mean, especially a team with, the deep starting pitching that they have.
Yeah. But I mean, do the Giants and Dodgers play again this year?
I don't know. That's
Oh, they do. So there's a 3-game set starting September 3rd, which is going to be absolutely
okay.
huge for both teams.
That should be interesting.
It should be interesting. The
I'm sure
Dodgers have a nice stretch where they play the Rockies and Diamondbacks back to back in like the close to the end of September.
Oh, those teams are just punching bags for the teams compete against each other.
Yes.
That's what they are.
They're an entirely different division, the Diamondbacks and the Rockies.
Yeah, they're basically AAA ball clubs.
Yeah. All right. Justin's joining us.
What's up, guys?
Awesome.
Justin, we're just talking about the NL East. Dodgers, we think are still the favorites to win, at least in the postseason. Maybe not the division.
NL East or NL West? Because you said NL East and
Dodgers. Sorry, I meant NL. I don't know why I said East. I'm on the East Coast. Okay.
Yeah, I was very confused for a second.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm a pretty confusing person. I just mix up all my words.
I'm not going to dispute that.
Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, Justin, who do you think is gonna be the favorite in the NL here for the NL pennant?
If you're going based on just paper, it's the Dodgers.
Yeah, but
that's an all-star team. Like, look at the lineup. Like, you got Betts, Bellinger. Well, Bellinger's having a bad year, but still former MVP. Turner, Seager, 2 Turners actually of Trey and Justin, Muncy, Will Smith. That's just an all-star lineup. And you got Pollock is think about this. AJ Pollock was at one point, I'm pretty sure, didn't he finish top 10 in MVP voting one year in Arizona?
Yes, he did. He was great.
He was one of the best hitters in the game.
Yeah, all-star, one of the best when it comes to hitting lefties, and he's a platoon player for them. Come on. They're definitely the favorite, but I think a pick a lot of people are sleeping on it for the NL, Milwaukee.
Just said it.
Oh, we were just talking about.
I joined a little late, but you have that elite 3. For the playoffs, you have those elite 3 starters that you need. If you want to steal series, it's you have Burns, you have Woodruff, you have Peralta. I trust any of those 3 guys to win me a game if I need it.
Yeah,
you have that deep elite bullpen, and their offense finally doesn't suck.
Okay, Justin, we were just talking about this a bit, but the Brewers, if you're the Brewers and you're looking at the NL East, because that's most likely who you're facing in the playoffs, let's be real. Which team do you want to face? Which team are you most scared of in a first round series?
Out of those 3 teams.
Out of those 3 teams, they're all within one game. It could easily be either of those teams.
I mean, I think the team I want to see the most is Atlanta, just because they lost Acuna, and that's the big threat there. It's their pitching's banged up, and they don't have Acuna, so that's not as scary a matchup. So that's not a knock on Atlanta, because obviously you still have Freeman, you still have Albies, you still have Darno, but it's you're missing Acuna, and that's a huge piece. As for the team I wouldn't want to see, I mean, if DeGrom's healthy, I wouldn't want to see the Mets. If DeGrom isn't healthy, then it's Philly. But it all depends on DeGrom's health.
Yeah,
because DeGrom is that rare starter that can swing a series. Because if you see him twice, unless the Mets offense goes dormant, which is also likely, but that's likely to be in a 5-game series, that's a death sentence. In a 7-game series, that's a big hill to overcome.
Yeah.
So it's if DeGrom is there, then I would say the Mets. Otherwise, I would say Philly. I think the way they're playing, and with Wheeler and Nola, it's just a scarier team to have to face in a short series.
Yeah, I mean, we even talk about Kyle Gibson too. Kyle Gibson's their 3rd starter, and then Zach Eflin.
Yeah, that's fair. Those guys too.
They got great 4 starting pitchers.
It all
do,
depends.
yeah.
It all depends on the health of DeGrom. Because if Jacob DeGrom is pitching in the postseason for the Mets, then that's a team I don't want to see.
Yeah.
But if he's not there, the Mets become a lot more beatable.
Definitely. Like 100%. The Mets, I mean, they're already beatable with DeGrom on the mound because they can't score.
Well, yeah. But DeGrom makes that not being able to score because you score 1 run for him, you're likely winning.
Yes, but that's only if DeGrom throws a complete game. Because I'm pretty sure like the Mets bullpen ERA and DeGrom starts is like
7,
really
and then,
bad.
like in non DeGrom starts, it's like 1.5.
Yeah, it is just awful.
The
They,
Mets.
the beginning of the year was just a great example that they just could not win with DeGrom on the mound.
The Mets, a special team. They are.
Yes,
Gotta
yes, they are. But I mean, they're a half game back of Philly, and guess who they're playing? They got some real easy series coming up against the Dodgers, and then the Giants, and then the Dodgers, and then the Giants. So let's go.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing they swept the Nats, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. At least they got 3 wins before they have 13 straight against the 2 best teams in the National League.
I mean, what are you hoping? What are you realistically expecting those 13 games, their record to be in those 13 games? What are you hoping? Best case scenario, kind of.
Oh, best case scenario, 13 rain delays. Postponement.
13.
We'll play them next year.
As a non-Mets fan, as an unbiased source, if the Mets can get out of there at 7, like a 7-6 or 6-7, I think you take that and run.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like if they're even within 3 games of the division lead after that stretch, I'll take that as a win as a Mets fan. Because we were talking about the next 4 series for the Mets, they play the Nationals and Marlins twice.
So yeah, that's a lot of ground you could make up on the.
Yeah, if they're able to squeak out of those next 4 series, even within striking distance of the division, they still got a shot. Yeah. But the Phillies and Braves, they need to be capitalizing on these next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, look at the Giants are capitalizing right now. That's what I like to see.
Well, when are they not capitalizing?
Said they were going to need to do that, and they have been
beating up on the Rockies and Diamondbacks.
Man, you can only play who's on the schedule. They've been playing hard series all year. It's nice that their schedule's lightening up a little bit for them. And even then, their September isn't exactly a picnic. They still have to play. They still have a 4-gamer with the Brewers. They've still got the Mets twice, who are going to be fighting for their lives, obviously, as we just talked about. You still see the Dodgers a lot. They're still going to see the Padres a lot. They're going to see the Braves, who are going to be desperate. They have 3 more series with the Padres. That's wild.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Giants have lost 17 games at home this year. 17 losses at home.
Look at how they built that team. It makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah, they had a lot of
timely hitting and pitching in a pitcher's ballpark. That'll generally get you wins at home if you pitch to your strengths.
Yeah, they hit a lot of home runs too. I'm surprised they've had so much power this year.
Oh, man, the Rockies are 38-21 at home.
Yeah, it's brutal on the road.
They have 13 wins on the road.
That's worse.
1 less than Arizona. Yeah. Ridiculous.
45. Oh, God. So that's brutal.
Well, Texas has 14 wins on the road.
Oh, my gosh.
Just taking a peek at the Giants roster, you know what makes it even more impressive that they've hit so many home runs?
What?
No one on the team is more than 20.
That's crazy.
Team leader is Brandon Crawford. He's got 19. Technically, Chris Bryant's tied with him, but he hasn't been on the team all year.
They just all do it.
It's just everyone on that team can take you deep at some point, so it's a very balanced lineup.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So it's not that traditional. It's not the traditional power hitters. It's that good hitters who have good at bats and then can run into one.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I guess Brandon Belt's a typical power hitter, but he's always injured, so.
True.
Heck yeah, he is.
Yeah, the Giants are pitching. That pitching, they're a threat in the postseason with their pitching.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, obviously, they're a threat right now. The record shows it, but it's that. I think people need to really start buying them at this point. People that are still doubting, stop doubting.
Definitely.
They have an ace. They have depth. Their bullpen's solid. Their offense can get hot. And they play good defense.
Okay, the Braves, I'm looking at the schedule now. The Braves are going to be in first place in the NL East. Their next few series, they play the Nationals, then they play the Marlins, and then they play the Orioles.
What about the Diamondbacks?
Who comes after that?
Who comes after that? Then it gets choppy. They play the Yankees, the Giants, and the Dodgers.
Oh no!
But in this next week and a half, the Braves will be in first. Are they going to
Braves
keep it?
end?
No.
Sorry, I'm just thinking the Braves end to the season. That's brutal. So they get like a nice little repeat. They get so the 17th of September. So their last few series, they play the Giants. They get a nice little 4-game break with the D-backs, and then Padres for 4, Phillies for 3, Mets for 3.
Yeah,
to end their season. That is,
not
fun. That is not a fun end to a season.
No.
Yeah, poor Atlanta.
Poor Atlanta. I mean, we talk about the Mets' bad stretch, but the Braves have a bad stretch coming up eventually too.
I mean, this is a random thought unrelated to anything, but this is about the White Sox. We know how talented they are. They probably have the best roster top to bottom in the AL. Do we think that they're going to be playing low-pressure baseball really the rest of the year because they have that division? Barring an epic collapse that hasn't been seen since the 2011 Red Sox, they're winning the AL Central.
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Do we think all that low-pressure games through September, will that affect them in the postseason?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yes, it will.
Because a lot of teams cite liking that hot, like going into the postseason with high-pressure games.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the White Sox last 3 games are against the Tigers. Talk about like high pressure. That's a complete opposite of high pressure.
Well, they're winning the Field of Dreams
really
game today.
Man, give the Tigers credit. They've been really good in the second half. They're only 3 games below 500 now.
No, they've been good for sure, but they're still 11 games back.
Yeah, they're still.
They're
I'm not saying
they're playing a horrible division.
Yeah. Like, Detroit has had a great year, don't get me wrong. Like, they should be very happy with what they've accomplished this season.
Yep.
But they're not a good team.
So here, the White Sox play the Red Sox from the 10th to the 12th through September. After that, their series they play the Angels, the Rangers, the Tigers, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and then Detroit again. So maybe one team that might be pushing the outskirts of the playoff race in Cincinnati in a little 2-gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be playing a lot of low-pressure games heading into the postseason.
I mean, right now I'm looking at this. The White Sox would play the Astros in the first round.
Cool.
And honestly, in that scenario, I would pick Houston.
Cool.
I think Houston's offense is just too good.
It is, yeah. If they have a healthy offense, although the White Sox, they did get their 2 big bats back in Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez. So that definitely helps. Like, yeah, if they didn't have those guys back and they're out for the whole year, yeah, I would have said Astros hands down. But I think it's more of a toss-up now because of that. And the White Sox also definitely have a better bullpen than the Astros.
How do we feel about Oakland then in the AL West? They're currently on a 7-gamer.
They play crap teams.
They played the Indians, and who was the other team they played? Indians and
Rangers.
The Rangers. Yeah. Athletics are not winning that.
They can't beat good teams.
No.
They're going to have a test because after the series against the Rangers, next week they get the White Sox and Giants.
Well, there you go.
So there's going to be your tell.
Well, against teams above 500 this season, the Oakland Athletics are 22-31.
Yeah, they're bad.
The Astros are 37-25.
Exactly. They're just so much better against those teams.
They're so much better. And Oakland is, I still don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs.
I think they'll be a wild card team.
I don't know. I might pick 3 teams out of the AL East before I pick Oakland.
I think Oakland will continue to beat up on bad teams, and they're going to see a lot of the Rangers, Angels, and Mariners on the stretch.
Angels, Rangers, yeah. Gosh.
Yeah, a lot of Angels, a lot of Mariners, a lot of Rangers on the stretch. 2 series against the Astros, so that'll be telling. But
yeah,
there you go.
But a lot of weaker teams, so they should be able to squeak in. I say only one out of the AL East because the AL East is going to be a bloodbath in September with each team beating up on each other.
Yeah.
And then poor old Baltimore sitting on the sides, getting another high pick.
Boston's not making the playoffs. They're not.
I don't think they are.
Good.
Boston's choking. They're not making it.
They suck.
That's what happens when overperforming pitching starts finally.
Exactly. That's what I
finally starts
the article I put.
Expectations.
Yeah.
Their
They're not
bullpen was
underperforming, they're just-
overperforming so hard.
Yeah. They're all just playing like they should have been playing this entire season.
Exactly.
Regression to the mean. It just hit the Red Sox harder than they thought it would.
Yes.
It ain't 2013 again, Boston. You're not going to get regression above the mean all season.
Holy crap.
Okay, but I mean, on the bright side, like just in baseball as a whole, the NL East has a team that has 60 wins now. So that's pretty amazing.
That is
Yeah.
sad. That's
Just today. As of today.
At least has 4.
That's pathetic that it took until the second week of August for a division to have one team win 60 games.
Yes. And like late in the second week of August, like we're on August 12th right now.
NL least.
Yes, sir.
Throw back to the beginning of the season when we were all saying it's going to be the most competitive division in baseball.
I mean, it's still competitive at the top.
Okay, let's rephrase that to the most competitive good division in baseball.
I don't even know like if I want to pull up like one of my first articles of the season and like what I wrote about the NL East.
It'll probably be painful. I mean, hey, I wrote that the Red Sox were going to be cellar dwellers, so
That's true.
you
All right, I gotta do it.
You win some, you lose most.
That's true. All right. Let's
I
see.
said Arizona wouldn't be that bad either, so
That's true.
in fairness, I did say Tampa was going to be good, and I did say San Francisco should be solid. In fairness. No, I didn't say San Francisco would be this good.
I know.
I said they should be a wild card threat, though. They've proven me right, at least with that.
That's fair. I'll give you that one. I mean, I take credit for the Mariners. They're not going to make the playoffs, but I take complete credit.
That's fair.
Oh my goodness. Okay, like looking back, the NL East, my X factor for the Braves, Mike Soroka.
Who is not going to pitch a single inning.
My X factor for the Miami Marlins, Brian Anderson.
Who was had a terrible year.
Yeah, my X factor for the Mets, Noah Syndergaard.
Not pitched an inning.
My X factor for the Phillies,
Holy crap.
JT Realmuto.
Okay, yeah, you got one.
Who's been good. For the Nationals, they're the 1, 2, 3 in the rotation. Scherzer's gone. Strasburg's been awful, and he's done. And Corbin's been bad.
Well, now I'm curious about mine. Now I need to go look at mine. You're just
I'll pull it up. I'm right there, Justin. Just give me a moment.
all right. We got to see some AL East and NL West. Let's see what I've been saying. I remember I said Cedric Mullins was going to be a big disappointment, and I'm happy he's proved me wrong because I like the player. But
all right, AL East X factor for the Orioles, Trey Mancini. Yeah, I like it. Red Sox, Eduardo Rodriguez.
Terrible.
Yep. I love their breakout candidate, Bobby Dalbec. Yeah, okay.
Then he decided to continue to not hit for anything.
Yankees X factor, Luis Severino.
Hasn't pitched an inning.
Breakout candidate, Clint Frazier.
Huge disappointment. I mean, man, if you looked at his 2020 stats, like I know it's a short sample size. Even 2019, the advanced stats were nice to him.
Yeah. He should
have been primed. Instead, he just disappointed.
All right, this one's good. Tampa Bay Rays X factor, Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah,
he was great until he destroyed his arm.
Yeah.
Blue Jays X factor, Nate Pearson.
Another guy who's been a huge disappointment. At least I called Vlad's breakout.
Yeah, at least your fade candidate was Danny Jansen.
Yeah, told you it'd be bad.
Yeah.
At least I got the breakout and the fade right for the Jays. For the Rays, didn't I say breakout Ryan Thompson?
Yeah.
I think he's had a good year if I remember correctly.
I think
he's been a solid piece of bullpen.
I'm excited to see Matt's AL Central here.
Oh, he's injured right now. But yeah, Ryan Thompson, 36 games, 34 innings, 2.38 ERA.
Good stuff. All right, Matt. Your White Sox, Yoan Moncada, X Factor. Breakout, Luis Robert.
Yeah, that went well.
Cleveland Indians, X Factor, Andres Jimenez, who spent like the whole year in AAA. Detroit Tigers, X Factor, Michael Fulmer.
Hey, Fulmer hasn't been bad.
I mean, he hasn't been bad. Matt did pull on the breakout, Casey Mize.
Oh, yeah, look at me go.
Yeah. Kansas City Royals X Factor Jorge Soler.
Yeah, he plays for someone else now.
Yeah, breakout
so
Brady
terrible.
Singer. Minnesota Twins X Factor Byron Buxton.
Yeah, that was a good call considering when he was playing, they weren't completely terrible. And when he got hurt, they were horrible.
Yeah, and Matt even wrote if he can stay healthy for a full season. Big if, Matt. Big if.
Big F, look at that.
And Twins breakout candidate Luis Arias.
He's been okay.
He's been okay. Yeah.
He's been exactly what he is. He's a singles hitter.
Yep. All right, let's go to the NL West. Another one of Justin's. Arizona Diamondbacks. X Factor, that Kettle dude. Ketel Marte.
Sorry, just interrupt for 1 second. Hey, man, Arise is hitting 317 with a 780 OPS. Like, that's
pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's a good season for a singles hitter.
Let's go. I did it.
All right, sorry. You can keep going.
X Factor, Ketel Marte for the Diamondbacks. X Factor for the Rockies, Trevor Story, who I still don't understand why they did not trade him.
Dude, don't even think about it anymore because no one's ever going to understand it, and you're just wasting your own energy because even he doesn't understand it.
I love the Dodgers X Factor, Trevor Bauer.
He was great, and then he decided to be a fucking idiot.
Yes, Padres.
Pardon my
Fernando
language.
Tatis Jr.
Needs to be said. Who was the Padres one?
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, well, that was obvious. That was an easy pick.
Yeah, Justin's usually censored everyone. He has his moments.
No, that Trevor Bauer one needs to be said because that one just it's such a it's obviously very serious. The allegations are very serious. But how stupid do you have to be to put yourself in that situation?
Yeah.
Like you're like, especially when you're making that much money, it's like,
and especially when you're already like in the spotlight like that.
You're like, what are you doing? It's like come on, dude.
And he wants the spotlight. Like he has gotten the spotlight because of things he's done.
He's literally like made a point of being in the spotlight with his social media presence. It's like, what are you doing? So that one, like that one does get me a little animated because it's just like, it's one of those moments where I'm sitting there and it's like, you have all of this and you're going to throw it away for something dumb. Like, come on.
Did.
Yeah.
Like, very serious allegations for the victim's sake and his sake. It's like, hopefully we all get it sorted out and everyone learns the truth. Cause it's like, it's a he said, she said, and I'm not going to say the victim's wrong. You never know. It's just such a messy situation that it's hard to comment on what's fact, what's fiction, but it's like, come on, dude, why would you even put yourself in that situation?
Yeah.
Use your brain. All right, rant over. Sorry, just need to take it. The Giants gets the blood boiling lately.
Giants, you had Alex Dickerson.
Yeah, he's been injured all year.
You also wrote for the Giants. Let's go over it. They could even make a surprise wild card push, but more realistic goal might be to finish at or above 500 for the first time since 2016.
Yeah. Well, at least I was right about the realistic goal. They're going to do that.
Well, they've almost done it.
You know, they're only 8 games away from doing it.
Yeah. Good stuff. I mean, you're not wrong.
Who did I say to fade for? Who were my fade candidates? I don't even remember at this point. It's been so long.
It was Johnny Cueto for the Giants. I don't know.
Who was my fade candidate? I think I picked Kenta Maeda for the Twins. That was a big one.
Yeah, you did.
Let's go.
Let's go.
That was a big one. I predicted his here. Let's go.
Now I got to go check and see who I said to fade.
That was a big one because he was coming off a Cy Young year. Cy Young runner up. Yeah, he's been brutal. I knew he wasn't going to be able to keep that up.
Now I need to see this. Here's my AL East one. I need to go look at like all my candidates and see how wrong I was because I'm wrong. I feel like I was wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. I think we're wrong about everything. So
the Orioles one, I was completely wrong on the Orioles. So,
well, I was completely right on the Twins. I think
I said fade Mullins, breakout DJ Stewart, and it's been the complete.
Fade candidate Cedric Mullins.
Hey, fade candidate Martin Perez got that right at least because Martin Perez is no bueno.
He's been brutal. You could have picked any Red Sox starter.
I said to fade Kluber, and Kluber's proved me right because he's hurt again.
Yeah. My favorite Justin prediction is the Red Sox will be in last in the AL East at mid.
Hey man, it was a hot take.
Blow it up by the deadline.
I'm still of the opinion that they should have blown it up, but because now they just had false hope and it's crumbling in front of them. So now they're going to end up with like 85 wins, get a middling pick, and they're going to blow money in free agency that they don't have, and then they're going to be stuck in purgatory. So have fun, Boston.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm excited.
I mean, I predicted the Twins would win the AL Central, so.
I had to fade Rich Hill this year, so that was kind of wrong. But like Rich Hill also got traded, and if the Rays trade something, there's a reason. That's all I'm gonna say.
Rich Hill's been pretty bad these last few weeks. Like before he was traded the last couple weeks.
He's been pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like if the Rays are trading you away, they know something.
Yeah. They got your use out of you, and it's like, all right, you suck now. Get out of here.
All right. Like looking at our predictions for postseason, like 3 of the 4 of us predicted the Cardinals to win the NL Central.
That looked like a pretty solid bet before the season. They had
but who picked the?
They
Who was the only one that picked the
bullpen. They added Arenado.
Matt, you picked the Brewers.
Let's go!
Let's go!
And the Brewers. Let's go!
All right, good pick.
Let's go!
But Matt, you also picked the Mets for the second wild card, so that's not even possible.
No, it isn't. That's the thing.
Although mine's worse. I picked the Braves for the first wild card. Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
Matt predicted Yankees versus White Sox in the ALCS, Braves versus Dodgers in the NLCS. Which I mean theoretically could still happen.
Braves, well,
in theory.
In theory it could happen. But it's pretty unrealistic. Matt has the Dodgers winning the World Series.
Okay, that wasn't
hard. What a hard prediction.
Matt's predictions do not make sense on this article. Matt predicts the Padres to win the NLCS, but the Dodgers to win the World Series.
Wait, what? Oh wow! I said fuck that up.
Matt, you're an idiot.
I guess so.
Is that a typo? Like,
probably a typo. It's definitely a typo. I was definitely picking the Dodgers to win the World Series.
Well, I mean, you did pick the Dodgers to win the World Series. Unfortunately, you picked the Padres to win the NL.
I did.
That's
a
tough one. That's a big yikes.
But you don't even have the Padres playing in the NLCS.
Oh boy,
that's tough, man. That's a tough one.
That's just a typo,
right.
I guess.
So that was just a safety pick.
I guess.
Yeah, as I said, Kenley Jansen would be a guy you should fade. Would we consider from a closer a 1.3 whip something that was correct, or am I wrong here still?
Been kind of bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm like not right, but I'm not totally wrong. It's like I don't know.
It's not awful. 1.30 whip and from a closer.
Yeah, and a 3.12 ERA. Like he hasn't been terrible. It's just like I don't know how much I trust Kenley anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm just gonna say the one breakout candidate that like I did get right, and I'm super happy I got right is the Crone Zone, Jake the Rake.
Jake Cronenworth, yeah.
Cronenworth is such a fun player. I'm so happy I was right about him breaking out this year.
Yeah.
Can we just take in that he was a throw-in in the Tommy Pham trade? Like the Rays just threw him in.
Wow, the Rays actually blew it.
The Rays got something wrong.
Yay.
I mean, they'll probably still end up with the better end of the deal, but like
the Rays
really happy Cronenworth's having that good a year. I said to fade Tommy Pham, and I was right. I mean, it's not hard to pick him as a fade candidate considering he got stabbed last offseason, but you know.
Yeah.
Wow, taking advantage of that insult to injury there.
Hey man, sometimes life just throws you a curveball, and in this case, Tommy Pham did not hit it.
No,
I guess not. He wasn't ready. He was looking for fastball.
He was sitting dead red.
Oh boy.
Noted breakout candidate Mauricio Dubon, who has been not heard from all season.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is anymore.
He's a Giant.
Who's that again?
He's like a young guy on the Giants.
I know.
Yeah.
He's not even on the roster right now.
All right. Well, before we wrap up for the night, what's your guys' one big thing in the AL and the NL that will be very important the next 2 weeks, whether it's for one team or whether it's for a division? What do you got? Who wants to start things off? One big storyline these next couple weeks.
Well, in the AL East race, like that's pretty obvious. The Rays have a big chance to pull ahead this week. They've got a nice now that they're done with the Red Sox. They play the Twins, and then they play the Orioles. So that's 7 games where you can make up some ground, especially with the Red Sox. Let me just check their schedule. They have the Orioles for 3, but then they have a three gamer with the Yankees. So
Yeah, like these series where these top 4 teams are playing each other are going to be very important. I think Boston's going to fall. I think by next week, Boston might be in 4th in the division. That's my prediction.
Oh, well, let's see.
And I think that by next week, Houston's going to have an even bigger lead in the AL West. They've obviously lost a bit of their lead this past week, but Oakland's also had a very good schedule.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah. As for the NL, I'm watching closely. Like obviously the NL East race it's close and interesting, but if I'm being honest, I just not into it just because of how bad that division is. It's at this point, I think whoever comes out of that division, that's just first round fodder.
Yeah.
Like that, they're just gonna get eaten alive by the Brewers. But I'm curious to see if the Dodgers can close that gap on the Giants or if the Giants will continue to pull away. I'd really like to see the Giants pull away because I think it would be hilarious to see the Dodgers have to win a 1-game wild card game just to get in when they have the best roster on paper. I think that'd be hilarious. I love the chaos of the schedule, so I think that'd be maximum chaos and be hilarious.
I love that.
So I'm very curious about that race.
Honestly, like one race I'm really curious about that I don't think anyone's paying attention to in the National League. The Cincinnati Reds are only 4 games back of the Padres. And they're 8 back of the division, but they're within 4 games of the wild card. And yes, the Padres are better, but can the Reds knock a couple of those games off, get closer in the wild card? Because nobody sees that coming.
Yeah.
But the Reds, they have a great offense. Who knows?
Yeah, knows for sure.
What say you, Matt?
What?
What are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
Oh, I'm interested to see I don't know how some of these some of the starters that are in the AL East, I guess whatever you want to call it, like Chris Sale and Luis Severino, these guys are coming back soon. I'm interested to see how they affect this race here because I know the Red Sox specifically, they have no starting pitching to speak of other than maybe Nathan Eovaldi. I mean, even though he's been pretty bad too. So it's interesting to see like how Chris Sale maybe will play a factor because I know he's looked okay in his starts and in his rehab starts. So it'll be interesting to see how he affects the race and if he can actually help the Red Sox bleeding a bit. And I mean, again, Luis Severino with the Yankees, it'll be interesting to see him. And I mean, I know Corey Kluber's coming back soon too as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to patch up those rotations. And then I guess in the NL, I don't know. I'm really interested in this AL East situation here. I mean, are the Phillies going to be able to continue this run? I don't know. Is it like a fluke what they're on? And I mean, the Mets kind of sweeping this Nationals definitely made it much more interesting because I thought like if they didn't look good headed into, especially because that first game was suspended and they're already down 3-1 already. So I was like, are they going to lose another game? And then all of a sudden, they came back and won that game. Then they went sweep a doubleheader today. And again, they have that 13-game brutal stretch against the Dodgers and Giants, like all those games against them. So it was important to get that done. So we'll see how the Mets fare against those pretty good teams. And yeah, the NL East should be pretty interesting because it's a 3-horse race now.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm looking
definitely.
for. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. And if you're watching this at a later date, thank you for giving us a view. And if you just hit subscribe on YouTube, also Matt just released an article about the Red Sox and kind of like how the AL East is shaping up in the on the blog. So just go to beaniebrosports.ca. And Justin will be releasing his Saturday Snooze News on Saturday morning. So definitely make sure you keep an eye out for that.
Just to interrupt before we wrap up, for those who are watching the Field of Dreams game, 2 outs, top of the 9th. Giancarlo Stanton just hit a 2-run home run. The Yankees are now leading 8-7. Liam Hendricks.
You got to be kidding me!
9th inning.
Wow.
They blew it. The White Sox bullpen blew it as I'm sitting here.
All with 2 outs. Judge homered with 2 outs. Gallo walked. Stanton homered with 2 outs.
Hendricks blew it.
Yep.
Wow. Well,
I figured that'd be something people would be interested in, so I figured I'd say that as well.
Wow.
what a
I'm glad there were a lot of home
happy
runs.
way
this
to
game.
end the live stream, Justin, talking about the Yankees.
Hey man, it's important for the playoff races.
Dude, if we have anybody watching that's a Yankees fan, just hit the unsubscribe button right now.
Exactly.
We don't want you. We don't need you. Just get out of our.
I mean, we kind of do need you, but you know,
Kind of.
No.
you get the sentiment.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can't make fun of Yankees fans, who can you make fun of?
I mean, you got Red Sox fans.
I don't know. I don't mind Red Sox fans.
Yeah, you weren't in the AL East.
Well, fair. All right. Well, is that it? Anybody else got anything else to say before we wrap it up?
No.
I
Nothing.
think we're good.
All right, but Blue Jays are gonna win the wild card. Let's go. Blue Jays